It disrupts your mobility. It did paralyse me at one point. I've just had a second operation, so I am currently walking again. It affects your mental health as well as your physical being.
At the moment, I have foot drop, so I struggle to walk. I can't walk very far if I do, so I can use crutches or a walking stick occasionally. My house isn't set up for taking a wheelchair. I have a step down into the kitchen and a step on the landing. So
I bet that's a nightmare.
From the minute I got home, I had to struggle around with a walking frame initially. Now I can use crutches, and I've got more strength now than I had when I left rehab. I couldn't walk 10 metres with a walking frame.
I was going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. I had a personal trainer. I was writing a blog for Kirklees Leisure as well about, that older people could go to the gym and what I was doing and everything, And it was brilliant. Life was fantastic. I'd lost 9 stone. Everything in the world looks rosy. And then on July the 23rd, and I went to see the GP in the evening, and she sent me to the A&E with a letter for the orthopaedic guy to have an MRI scan immediately. Following morning at 11 o'clock I had the scan, and the radiographer was running down the ward saying, "Don't let her have out to eat, she's going for an operation to Leeds." So that in itself is traumatic anyway.
This is the problem, there are too many of them.
Right.
And you don't, it's not like a traffic light flag where if you get one, you're okay. 2, or maybe it could be one of any number, or it could be 4 different things that affect you.
And I also feel like I stop my children doing what we used to do before. So we don't go out on days out the same, and when we do, we have to think about where we go and how long it's going to take us to get there, and if there's anywhere for me to rest, and so many other things need to be taken into consideration now that never used to be thought about before.
I can go further on crutches, but I find if I go too far, the other night I had to walk from the stadium to the car after a concert. It took me about 25 minutes to go 400 metres or so. During that time I nearly tripped several times. I had to stop for a rest as it was getting too much, and whilst I was resting my left leg collapsed and my wife caught me. So it is very difficult. So in work I spend most of my time in a wheelchair. There's bladder issues that I still suffer from, and I don't feel that I would get to the toilet quick enough. And there's all sorts of embarrassments that could go with that, which I want to try and avoid.
So I get this phone call from the consultant, and when the question I asked him was, "When does this pain go away?" And he said, "Never." And I didn't know that. He never once did he come and say to me, or at the beginning of what they did, that when they'd done the operation, it would just stop at that point, and whatever you had at that point was what you were left with. Which for me is numb legs. So much pain, it's the worst pain ever. And it's just daily. And I take amounts of morphine, which I don't like doing. Other nerve painkillers, I just, take them all. Take a handful of pills in the morning, a handful of pills in the afternoon, a handful of pills at night. And that's what keeps me walking.
The lack of communication, it's the lack of us as patients knowing what our symptoms are and what our signs should be. If we go to a hospital with a backache, they should check all the different things, but tell us what they're checking. Not just saying, "Oh, you've got a slipped disc," or "You've got this." And we want them to ask, "Have you had any urine problems? Have you had any numbness?" All different, rather than just ask, "Have you got a bad back?" Because it's not about just a bad back, is it?
I've always been the one that worked as a staff nurse. To have Lindsay was always the one that took the kids to groups that you got kids everywhere that they needed to be.
School, after
So
school
then,
groups, shopping.
Because you can't drive, you can't get the kids about. They rely on me to get them to places, but obviously I've got work to factor into that as well.
It's like being a single dad.
It's been very difficult. I got very angry. Difficult to see what the future had in store. My wife was suffering from some anxiety anyway, and now I have multiplied that by about 10 for her. My parents were trying to do as much as possible for me when I was in hospital, but I must admit I told my wife and my parents where to go on different occasions, because my words were, I need to concentrate on one thing, and that's me getting better. I don't care about anything else that's outside of the hospital at the moment.
Before that, I was married, I had a husband, a house, a job, a career in accounts, and now I've got a 1-bedroom flat. I'm divorced, the house was sold, and I can't work. And it's just, people look at you and think you're lazy. You know, that you don't want to work. They don't know they've no idea what all of us got to go through, none. And that's what we need to get out there to people, is that, you know, this is, it's a big thing. A lot of people have got it. I know it's rare, you know. One radiographer who was doing an MRI for me a few months ago, she was putting a catheter in the arm, and she said, "Oh, why are you here?" sort of thing. And I said, "I've got Cauda Equina Syndrome." Oh God, she was so excited because she'd never met anybody. She used to get suspected cases through all the time, but she said, "You know, we've never found, you know, it's always been a slip disc or whatever. It's not been, you know, Cauda Equina." And she was so excited because she now knew somebody who got it, you know.
Are you having any more symptoms with this back pain, or is it just a back pain that you're used to all the time? And that's where I felt that my doctors had let me down.
I was trying to be
stubborn.
She was being stubborn, no, really.
It was fine. It was going to go. It was
You go
worse
to the
than
GP.
labour pain.
It was worse than
It was.
labour
I've had 5 children, and
I don't know
it
if
was worse
Richard
than
would know.
labour pain.
Yeah.
I refused.
We started by going to the GP.
Yeah,
didn't
I refused. I said I would be okay, and I went to my GP, who decided to have all these medications. Didn't assess me in the slightest.
we?
Didn't
even
look
lay a
at me.
finger on you.
Really.
Just have some gabapentin, have some Oromorph, have some diazepam.
I personally felt that if I'd have had more knowledge about what could happen from my backache, I feel that something could have it could have been dealt with earlier, perhaps to avoid the herniation of the disc and causing Cauda Equina Syndrome.
They can't do any more with Luke because we've lost the bladder, we've lost the bowel, we've lost the lady bits, we've lost other bits and pieces. There isn't anything more that we can lose other than having to go through more operations.
Yeah.
So we just want the whole medical profession, including receptionists, doctors, receptionists, people on the telephone answering your calls, just to be aware of Cauda Equina. Not necessarily red flags, but Cauda Equina.
Today has been fantastic.
So why has today been fantastic for you personally?
Just to meet other people who know I don't have to say this is what my pain feels like. I don't, you know, I mean, I knew that it was going to be quite emotional. I don't think I quite realised how emotional it was going to be. To sit round with people who aren't judging me and thinking I'm just lazy, you know, fat lazy, the slob like my next door neighbour calls me. But, you know, they know what I'm going through, you know, and I just feel an idiot today because I've just got a roof with tears have come and I can't stop them because it's made such a difference. And some of these tears are tears of happiness, they're not all tears of sadness.
It's amazing to meet people that have Cauda Equina because, as far as I was concerned, I was the only one.
You were the only one, and Richard, that must be great.
You're in a bubble to a certain extent.
We'll form a friendship from it. It's great to visit today.
Big difference. They help you so much. They're there 24 hours a day to help you.